Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. For almost 6 years, I've been seeing exciting headlines like the one that's on your screen right now. And it's easy to become numb to stuff like this after such a prolonged period of time. Here's one, reads as follows from the Crypto Basic. Market Watcher predicts a 777% XRP rally to $6.57 in 7 days. But that's the thing about being in the market so long. Most of the time, what's happening when you're holding an asset, and this is true of crypto or equities, it's just the market's moving sideways or it's moving down, maybe it goes up a little bit, but the truly most exciting times are few and far between. It's a handful of days on average in any given year. And in terms of the biggest moves, those happen roughly every several years typically. So most of the time, investing in crypto, while it's fun and exciting if you're someone like me, and I suppose that you likely are a lot like me in terms of interest if you're listening to a channel like this, so yes, we're interested in stuff, but in terms of the most exciting price action, it's just not happening on a day-to-day basis. And so it's easy to feel like, oh yeah, there you go, there's another headline, probably not going to happen, until one day though, eventually, inevitably, it does. And I want to share with you something that I was listening to just before recording this video, because it is easy to brush off headlines like this, and I've brushed off almost all of them for almost 6 years at this point. And I don't know if this guy's right. That's not the point of me bringing this up, but I want to share with you some thoughts. Before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, as I record this video, XRP is just a hair shy of 84 cents, Bitcoin a hair above $30,000. And it's been fascinating because for much of the last week, Bitcoin's been having somewhat of a hard time. XRP been having a pretty damn good week. I think it's safe to say here, and we all know why. But here's a few things. Let's kind of set the table here. Kind of things that have been occurring. Right? There's been, and let me say this first. We know that when it comes to the price action, broadly speaking, in crypto, the market moves in tandem. It's led by Bitcoin. We know that that Bitcoin and the crypto asset class moves in tandem, generally speaking, with equities. So not down to the second, the minute, the day, the week, the month necessarily, so on and so forth. But if you zoom out on a chart, you can just see that this is clearly the case, especially when there are those big wild card moments, right? We know that this is the case. And what we've seen in recent days is that you've seen the Dow Jones, you've seen the S&P 500 move right on up to the upside. You've seen XRP rocket. It's the only large cap coin on the entire damn planet that has legal clarity in the United States. It's the only one. And you have Bitcoin it's not like it's looking horrendous. I mean, it has been dipping below to the upper $20,000 region recently. But it hasn't been just taking off the same way that you've seen, just say broadly speaking, the stock market, if you want to, but in particular, the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. So, maybe Bitcoin's got a little bit of catching up to do. But let me tell you what I was listening to before I was recording this video. I listened to a 2-hour and 10-minute video on the Bearable Bulls YouTube channel. I'm sure many of you listening right now listen to that as well. And he actually had the blockchain background as a guest. It was a fantastic and interesting video, and it's real fun hearing the interaction back and forth between those two. That's the first time that those two had gotten together and collaborated. And I will say this: what I heard from the blockchain backer was exciting and incredible, and not what I was expecting to hear. Because why do I say that though? Most of what it is goes back to what I was saying a couple minutes ago. Most of what it is to be investing in crypto is a lot of boring sideways price action. And I say boring just because, we reserve the word excitement for the biggest moves in crypto. Now, I'm still interested because I'm a crypto dork. Fine. But I'm interested every single day, and maybe you are too. But, it's not the most exciting price action. And I'm not going to regurgitate technical analysis. I do that as little as possible on this channel. I am not interested in technical analysis for myself. I appreciate people like the blockchain backer that do value that and are interested and are actually really good at it. I really do value that. It's just not for me. Just like I heard him say one time, he's like, oh man, I would never want to run a YouTube channel where I only talk about like what's happening in crypto in general in the news and stuff like that. I'm like, well, that's my jam. So, but I appreciate that he does, and he does it very well. And so what he said in a nutshell, he went through the various metrics that you could consider when it comes to technical analysis. And I'll just tell you this. Everything's lining up in such a way that these are the things that almost never happen, but they preceded the most monstrous moves for XRP in history. And that is where we are. And that's why he said at least once, he's like, yeah, man, it's scary. It's scary. It's like, it doesn't, and look, it's not a guarantee that this is going to be the blast off moment, but you think it's not going to happen. Every day you wake up, it's not going to happen. And then it goes on like that for years and years and years. So why would tomorrow be any different? But eventually, when it comes to markets like this, if we're right, eventually one day you wake up and it just is. And so we did get a glimpse of that with what happened when XRP got regulatory clarity, last week. And it was great to see it move up like that. And it's not uncommon, as it turns out, to see, after a big move like that, see a bit of consolidation. And it's actually the case that we're at the point where, if you look historically how XRP has behaved when certain metrics have been at certain points, as again, I don't want to regurgitate technical analysis. I encourage you to check out the Bearable Bulls video with the blockchain backer if you want all the specifics. It's a great video. You should definitely check it out. But he's indicated like all the boxes are checked. And that doesn't, I've never heard him say that before. That doesn't normally happen. Now that is something. Having held for this long, because I've been holding XRP since November 17th of 2017. Never sold a single XRP. Now I intend to. I fully intend to. But if he's right, we're there. And so now you look at the confluence of events. Because what's one of the other things that I've noted has never happened before? Well, we've never seen XRP hit a new all-time high and go on a tear without Bitcoin leading the way. So, and also, again, crypto follows the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones, so on and so forth. What do we see there? So we see Bitcoin not yet catching up to what's happening with the S&P 500, just say equities in general. But that doesn't mean that it won't. And if it starts going in that direction and it's on a point where XRP's, all the boxes are checked, we actually, the blockchain, look, he's not making a prediction. He's not making a price prediction or saying for sure this is going to happen. So I'm going to get overly excited, but it is exciting. It could be finally the time where this happened. Again, I want to reiterate, I don't hear that from the blockchain backer ever because he's a realist. And most of the time, that's not what's happening. So when he says that, yes, I'm paying attention. When he says that, it's not just another one of these headlines I started my video with where it says XRP potentially to $6.57 in 7 days. But here's the thing about that. When XRP goes, it happens fast. It happens fast. I did live through the XRP going through its biggest bull run in history, hitting its all-time high. I lived through that. And it was exciting, although I was new in crypto, and so it was hard to get money in at that time. And plus, I wouldn't have put a crazy amount in anyway because I was, newer to crypto. I had been in, all of 6 weeks or whatever, 6 to 8 weeks. So, but anyways, I went through that. And from when XRP really started running until it hit its all-time high, it was something like 2.5 weeks. So when it starts going, it's going to be like snap of a finger, in all likelihood anyway, lightning fast. It could last a week or 2 or 3. And so I'm going to be prepared. Now, the good news is, should this occur, now that we have legal clarity, and actually, frankly, I don't think it would happen without the legal clarity. That's a major piece of the puzzle that has now been fulfilled. It's been placed properly, right? Well, because of that, we had all of these exchanges in the United States relist XRP. And so that leads to a whole nother conversation. And maybe I can delve more into this in a separate video, but it's this question of, because I've been concerned leading up to this. I'd articulated this a number of times over the last roughly 2.5 years. Okay, what if XRP does run? How the hell do I, if I want to sell, what do I do? My options uphold? Is that it? And nothing that's uphold, they're great. I've been using them since 2018. But that's my only off-ramp? And then what about the congestion there? Because that's where everybody goes in the United States that wants to buy or sell XRP. So I was just like, it's just one of those things. I was like, I don't know. So I never had a perfect solution for that. I've talked about it on and off for the last 2.5 years, but I was really truthfully just hoping that the legality of this would just get cleared up. I wouldn't have to worry about it. And that's what happened. So now we're going to have tons of opportunities, tons of places to go in terms of off-ramps if you're here in the United States. So there's that too. And we'll see what happens here. And again, it's not a guarantee that this is the time that it's going to happen, but and again, if you want the specifics in terms of the technical analysis, 2 hour and 10-minute video, it's absolutely fantastic. I listened to the whole thing. I listened to about 20 minutes of it while I was at home, about 20 minutes while I was driving, and the rest I was just taking a really long walk. It was just enjoyable. It was nice. Listen to them banter back and forth and share their thoughts, and I was right there with them, and I was laughing along. I'm like, yup, because they've been there. We've all been here in the crypto space. It seems like about more or less the same length of time. And so I was like, yep, we've all been through all of these things, all the ups and downs for over half a decade now. And finally, we're at this point where maybe something's actually finally going to happen. Oh my God, I want it to happen. But for me, I'm still going to, however long it takes, I'm just going to hold. But I just wanted to point out, it seems like it's impossible until one day it happens, and then it seems surreal, and then it's over in a flash. And so just be ready in case. I'm not telling you to buy or sell. I'm not telling you to do anything other than just have some sort of plan in place, because we are our own worst enemies when it comes to investing. One of the biggest hurdles, if not the biggest hurdles, is just the emotions that seep in. Because when it starts going like, oh my God, but what if I sell it now and it keeps going higher and higher? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to fall victim to that. I've got a pretty reasonable idea of what I intend to do in terms of selling, and I am going to stick to it. Absolutely, I'm going to stick to it. And so for me, since I put in more money into XRP than most humans ever would be willing to do, and it's been a big risk. But since I did that, and the reason I did that is so that I wouldn't need XRP to get to an insanely high level for me to have life-changing wealth from it. And so that's why I'm going to be looking to scale out. Maybe I'll start scaling out maybe around $5. Maybe if I get real excited, maybe I sell like a fraction of 1% or 1% around $4 if that happens. But really what I'm going to be looking at is mostly $5 to $7. I could be potentially entirely scaled out by then. Maybe I'll save a little bit for closer to $8. And for me, the thing is, that would be for me life-changing wealth. And so there will be people that will be mocking me for selling too soon. And maybe they'll be right that XRP will go higher. I don't care. I'm following my plan. I do not give a damn. I took up extra risk up front so that I could de-risk sooner than others might otherwise do. And the Bearable Bull and the Blockchain Backer, they're talking about their exit strategies, and they have different points than me, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. And we both have different goals. Here's the thing: even if we say the three of us, say me and the Bearable Bull and the Blockchain Backer, let's say we all had exactly the same quantity of XRP, we would still have different exit points, right? Because we have different goals and what we're willing to wait through and this and that. And for me, I'm factoring in the rest of my net worth, the fact that I'm still making money, a whole bunch of stuff, multiple revenue streams. And I'm looking at all of this and I'm just like, no, that's the target. I have something pretty well in mind that'll be just life-changing for me. And it's even just that range, that'll pretty well do it for me. And just, so, I'm not going to try and sell all at one spot. I'm going to do it over a span of time. I'm just recognizing I'm not necessarily going to have that much time. It could happen, like I said, over a span of 1 or 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm just going to try and be ready for this when it actually hits. So it would be neat if their suppositions about the possibility for it happening in the very near term are correct. That would be neat. Even if not, even if we're talking about this another year from now, cool. I am totally fine with this. But, man, what an exciting time to be in crypto. This is what we've been waiting for. We've gone through all of this nonsense and all the BS from the jackass Bitcoin maxi trolls, those little room temperature cottage cheese eating sons of bitches. We had to deal with Kim Jong-Ginsler and all the asshat pricks at the SEC. We've gone through all this nonsense and we've reached the end. We have the clarity. Markets are green, generally speaking. Everything's going to the upside. I just hope that it freaking continues, and I hope this actually is the moment. I really hope that this is the moment. So we'll see what happens here. Now, I did want to share something from XRP community member Frecky, because he was responding to somebody named Joe who wrote, "What's the next step in your life after you get rich AF?" Now, Frecky's been in crypto since 2011, strong proponent for XRP based on utility, happens to work in finance, and here's what he had to say. Make sure you get a certified financial planner to do a full comprehensive financial plan completed. Also, you need to see an estate attorney immediately as well, before spending a penny of your wealth. then you can understand your financial picture, spin size, and so on. Multi-millionaire advice. Yeah, and let me pause because something else I wanted to say earlier, it slipped away from my mind a couple minutes ago, but it just came back to me. You know, the amount of money that I'm looking to make in terms of profit just from XRP, life-changing wealth. That doesn't even include the rest of my other crypto, right? But even just XRP. So I look at that. I don't really intend to spend much of profit. I just, for me, I'm more interested in additional financial security rather than things. Doesn't mean I won't spend stuff or do some extra things. Of course, we all deserve that if we get there, right? But what I'm most excited about this is reinvesting. And so even if I do it in something that's more traditional, whether it's real estate or equities, whatever it is, I mean, especially if you just talk about equities, you understand, so less exciting, but to get broad exposure, even just a boring index fund over the span of a decade. So, we look 7 to 10 years out, and what would you expect? That to double? So I get it, it's not as exciting. A 2x in crypto is boring as heck, but for me, the point has always been to get it from the volatile asset class, put it in something that's technically more tried and true and less risky, right? And so my point is, whatever XRP earnings I get, that's not all I get. My money's going to earn me money. So if whatever I get from XRP, double that another 7 to 10 years, perhaps, just by investing in equities, perhaps. You get the concept, and I know it's not as neat and clean as that. You get ups and downs, and you can have years that are down in a row and years that are up in a row. Okay, I get that. But just conceptually, that's the type of thing that I'm looking at. So, you could hear my number. Maybe you think it's a lot. Maybe you wouldn't think it's enough. Maybe you think that I'm selling it too short, but I've got my own goals. And I'm just telling you that's not the end of XRP making money for me, because the profit right there is going to make me more money because I'm not going to spend it on a bunch of junk. Well, maybe a little bit of spend a little bit of it on junk. A little bit of it, right? But that's just the way that I look at this. And then, of course, there's the rest of crypto. And then once XRP craters back down, as everything does after going on a tremendous bull run, I'll wait till it looks like we're nearing the bottom, and then I'll just start dollar cost averaging in again. Because me selling XRP doesn't mean that I'm not confident in the long-term viability of XRP. It means, if I'm selling, that it is an outsized portion of my net worth and I need to de-risk. That's all it means for me personally. And so I will. And so just when that happens one day, don't y'all get negative on me. I guess if you're riding with me now, you're probably going to be doing something similar, right? In terms of selling, perhaps, anyway. You guys can tell me what you're going to do. But just don't get mad at me when I sell most or all of my XRP. Doesn't mean I'm anti-XRP. It just means for me personally, that's the most, I believe, financially correct thing for me to do. That's it. But I'll still keep running the YouTube channel. I'm not going to go away. I have too much fun talking about this stuff. I'd love to talk to you more about the journey, do some additional fun stuff, and then just get back right in it and just go through another cycle after that. Our journey's not going to be complete just because we finally get a new all-time high with XRP and have life-changing wealth. Even if that happens, the journey's not over, not for me. No. Let's do it again. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So anyway, I just want to share with you some thoughts because it was too fun listening to that video. It was just a fantastic 2 hour and 10 minutes. And it just got me thinking. So I just thought I'd share some general thoughts on this. And I hope that since all these boxes are checked and there's nothing else to wait for in fact, the only thing that in a separate video, the blockchain backer mentions, the only thing that it was maybe lining up in terms of a huge catapult for XRP. And I'm paraphrasing, those aren't his words. But that would be, Bitcoin not going just yet. But that doesn't mean that's not going to happen either. So it'll be interesting to see if we actually do get another leg up. And just seeing XRP was at 90 cents that day that we got the great news, went down to 71 cents or whatever, and it's been moving up over the last couple days. 24-hour high. Here, what's the 24-hour high? Hit 84.9 cents according to Live Coin Watch. Oh man, what a time to be alive. So y'all tell me what you think. Again, I've seen all these headlines for almost 6 years. Most of the time I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. But eventually you hit a time where it actually is different. The question is this the one? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.